Most of you guys, I hope you guys know me. I am going to mention some flowers in the night sky, so I found that really interesting. So I'll get started. Beauty. Beauty is how one person dedicates their life to the pursuit of music and song, while another person travels the world to meet and help the world's isolated communities, while yet another patiently studies the stars through the eyepiece of a telescope. Beauty exclusively exists by an observer recognizing and appreciating its presence. A person or artist cannot create something that is certain to be beautiful to others, but can only attempt to imitate what is already seen as beautiful. Take, for example, the universe's first and most plagiarized artist, nature. Natural works such as mountains, rivers, forests, sunsets, and life are the most widely recognized objects of beauty. However, nature did not and could not craft the flat irons, the stars, the sparkling snowfall, or the bird's love song with the intention of pleasing us. These things simply exist. What makes these objects beautiful is the harmony of the object's existence and the person's acknowledgement of it. As the human component is vital to beauty, beauty is defined by what gives each individual person pleasure and satisfaction. Therefore, we don't simply have to describe beauty by our visual and auditory senses. We also consider actions, words, relationships, knowledge, and our imaginations to be beautiful. This is why we feel warm inside when we see an old couple holding hands together at the park, or why a mother will cherish her own child's drawing, which is indistinguishable from any other child's scribbling, forever. Anything you can think of is perceived to be beautiful because it has a combination of any of the following characteristics. The object's likeness to nature, such as why we find the redstone buildings on campus to be beautiful. An object's estrangement from nature, abstraienia, such as abstract art or electronic music. Or because the object of our attention displays some sort of human capacity for intellect, imagination, or love. These are things such as mathematics, skyscrapers, airplanes, and holding hands. So what about famous musicians or writers that consistently churn out art pieces that are intended to please their audiences? Many people feel that what these artists produce is truly beautiful. In addition to contributing their own creative intellect, these artists subject their work to the influence of what their audience already perceives as beautiful. This process doesn't make these artworks lesser. It simply means that the beauty of those artworks is derived from a combination of the artist's contribution and the emulation of existing beautiful artworks. It's similar to how a florist creates a bouquet. The florist selects flowers, an object that is universally seen as beautiful, and Melody would agree, and arranges them in a configuration that he or she sees as beautiful. The bouquet's beauty is dependent on the flowers, the florist's creativity in the arrangement, and the perception of care and love the customer has of the bouquet. There is, however, a human element of beauty of which I am not very fond, and yet I am guilty of. It is the human perception that an object's rarity is in direct influence to its beauty. This perception can happen at both a conscious and subconscious level. Say I have two rings in my hand. One is fixed with a diamond, the other is fixed with a glass crystal. Let's also assume they look identical as far as you can tell, and you can't sell them. If I told you to pick one, would you ask for the diamond ring? This sort of decision is a conscious awareness of scarcity, and it has a large influence on our perception of beauty and value. Subconscious awareness of scarcity looks more like this. You're walking back from a typical late class. The night is warm, and around you there is a calming, faint buzzing. The sky is clear, the stars are sparkling, and the moon is full, illuminating the flat irons. There are nights such as these that you will look up and recognize the beauty of that night. However, as you are subjected more and more to the night sky, it becomes common, and you don't fear the possibility that it will suddenly not be there to look at. So, more often than not, you don't stop and look at the sky, and are perhaps instead focused on how much homework you have to do. The night sky hasn't changed, but because it is commonplace in our lives, our perception of its beauty and value in that moment is lower. It doesn't have to be that way. Remember, beauty simply needs us to recognize its presence. We are perhaps the only beings that roam at our own will. So stop and pause and look at the stars. Appreciate your old friends. See the beauty in new friends. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I beautiful? Because you have the power to say, yes, I am beautiful.